We talking about Cowboy Bebop? Bebop?
Beep boop. Beep boop. Ba da ba ba da ba.
Who invited me?
I'm a spark man.
Ba da ba da boop.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, thanks for tuning in to Nerds and Noise. This is Natasha's last time. This podcast.
Well, it was fun while it lasted.
You don't interrupt Daddy.
Take two. Don't interrupt.
My name is SC. Get about Camille, Natasha, Kevin, and Sarah. And today, talking about everyone's favorite subject, anime to live action adaptations.
Yay.
And
Yay.
because what's worked so well in the past.
Is that a setup for the fact that you guys have failed before?
We haven't failed. We didn't make the movies.
Oh.
I'm not the one who made Dragon Ball Evolution. That was Fox.
I didn't even give that a chance.
I
I saw the
unfortunately-
trailer and I was like,
I did spend money on that.
What's funny is, full disclosure, I don't actually hate Dragon Ball Evolution. What's funny is I remember back when that project was announced and it was going to be Stephen Chow directing. I was like, Stephen Chow, oh, this is going to be fantastic. And then when Stephen Chow was stepped down, I was like, oh, okay.
We had our chance.
Yes, we did. Then I saw the budget, and I watched the production from the very beginning. All the stars were super excited. The actress who played Bulma, she's on
Emmy Rossum.
Emmy Rossum. She played Bulma, and she tried to fight for them to wear a blue wig, and the producers were like, "No, we'll give you a blue streak." It's kind of how often the people who are making these things are actually really really into it, and they're super supportive, and just from like a producing level. They just have no faith in the source material, and so we get something like Dragon Ball Evolution, where
even though the source material is what brought you to that place in the first place.
Right.
But no, we're just
Right.
not going to stick to anything that gave us the. It's fine.
I'll be the first to say that not everything translates well from page to screen, and sometimes you gotta cut the fat off or choose what to leave off.
But blue hair, how
Crazy looking hair is like the cornerstone of
Dragon Ball.
Every-
It
Yeah.
feels like they just left a hand when they were cutting the fat. I'm like, oh man, we got rid of the whole body.
like whoops. You don't have to take that much creative liberties to give somebody a blue wig that doesn't look like crap.
Well,
Yeah.
it goes to show that when you alienate the that much of the core, it's Jim and the Holograms kind of a thing. The only people who know about Jim and the Holograms are the hardcore Jim and the Holograms fans.
Yeah.
And when
Like Steven.
yes,
The Transformers movies, you're marketing to either people that have loved Transformers forever and love it maybe too much, myself included, and families. Those movies don't hit either of those marks.
they don't. I think they lucked out because giant robots fighting is such a big target to hit that even though they were way off the mark,
Someone's gonna watch it.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, I watched all of them except the last night because I just couldn't. After watching, and I love Mark Wahlberg, but after watching that last movie, man, I don't think I've ever hated a girl and a guy as much as I hated his daughter and her boyfriend in that movie.
So here we have, the history of anime to live action. The best of which I still maintain is Speed Racer. I think Speed Racer is a beautiful example of when you go all the way. In fact, the Wachowskis went even further in their insanity and color and goofiness, and they were like, this is a weird story about racing and car. They called it car fu, like the car kung fu.
And to their credit, they translated it very well. But also, it seems that like they accidentally kind of like sidekick some of the cohesive story and pacing.
They did. Like, there's a good 30 minutes of extra racing politics that movie just doesn't need. I'm like, this is about racing.
They just need time fillers.
Yep.
I think. I feel like the Wachowskis were trying to give something more. I guess for the almost for like the adults, because kids don't care about racing politics. They care about the cars fighting each other, but also in the audience, we didn't really care about racing politics. The best stuff was that the characters were so vibrant and energetic, and I was like, man, I'm really watching Speed Racer and Racer X on screen, and he's wearing the full body condom, the full Racer X. They got Matthew Fox in that outfit.
Full body condoms. Those sound fun.
And so we have this one movie that only did, okay in the end because it was really ambitious and really crazy.
That's one of the Wachowskis' weak points is they try hard, but they don't seem to hit the mark of exactly what they wanted to do.
But if nothing else, it's funny, even with Jupiter Ascending's...
She's looking up.
Full body condom. Sorry.
Wait, what?
It's a full body condom.
Oh. So
Where
about
was I?
that
Yes.
Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, I do know that they Shinichiro Watanabe, the director of Bebop and many other, Samurai Champloo and several other amazing anime. He is a consultant. So,
Yes.
Netflix, who normally, as far as I would say, at least 70% out of they have a pretty good batting average, compared to a lot of other companies as far as content.
As much as they're getting crap for their Voltron and She-Ra shows from the true fans, yeah, my wife really loved the new She-Ra show, and I'm looking at the designs. I'm like, man, I really enjoyed. They're all cute and they're all distinctive.
And with Bebop, this is it's almost like handcrafted for you. This is so difficult to mess up because the majority of Cowboy Bebop is just about a bunch of broke losers
Misfits.
just trying to make a payday.
Right.
So like us.
Both that and Champloo are both about a bunch of broke weirdos just trying to get to the next day.
The underdog to kind of then they get
But
succeed basically.
But they still have cool stuff. That's why I hate when they just keep raining down on people with crappy stuff. When you have one that's relatable, but you still get some neat moments to hold on to.
Yeah, there is
life.
There's an ongoing story and everybody has their own arcs in Bebop, but it goes through the biggest takeaway from it is it's this crew of people who shouldn't be together, who make this really this mismatched family. And with 10 episodes, there's so much you can do with these characters, and they're going to be longer than the 22-minute episodes that we watch, for on the anime. You have 45 to minute to an hour long episodes to where you can really. Spike, Faye, Ed, Jet, they can all, whatever stories you choose to adapt or don't adapt, because that's the thing. Bebop could have had 80 more episodes of just their antics and shenanigans.
I want to input though, because I'm a little concerned about Cowboy Bebop on Netflix, because I'm not sure I know not everyone has seen the Full Alchemist live action on Netflix, whereas I felt like they relied too heavily on the source material, because it followed the story, it followed everything that happened, but it was kind of boring, it was kind of dull, it wasn't really
It all goes. It goes
That's
to the.
rough too.
my opinion. It was beautiful.
Them is fighting words.
Aesthetically.
No, I agree with you. It's rough if it's boring. 'Cause
Yeah.
That's
The Full Metal Alchemist has such a rich story,
Yeah.
and the fact that they messed it up just because it comes from Japan does not mean
Right.
that they can do it well live action.
Right.
They've made a lot of stinkers,
It
and
was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was exactly what they translated the appearance straight from the source, but the actual they just followed the storyline too closely, I think, and it just you knew what to expect. It didn't really.
See, I'm on the board where I want it to match the source material because
Really?
I get mad if they deviate because I have a weird thing where I have to know what's happening, so I will Google a movie during the movie,
Right.
just to make sure that I know the ending of said movie
Right.
before end movie ends. Right. And so watching the Avengers and watching Captain America, Captain America Civil War pissed me off to no end because I'm he's supposed to die.
But there's one thing about that: the Civil War comics.
it's, honestly, you're not alone. You check any comment section on any comic-related media. You'll find enough people who are also angry that something didn't go the way it did
Oh, yeah.
in a comic.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
even the Harry Potter fans, the ones who love it. They'll go off on rants for hours about everything from the books that did not translate.
Did you put your name in the goblet of fire?
Maya! You were supposed to say that calmly!
But back to the subject of Cowboy Bebop and possibly being good or bad, because the subject matter is so much more easy to relate to, and not as a lot of anime is, even for Alita Battle Angel that's coming out. It's about a robot girl who's fighting in these Coliseum wars. It's a little harder of a sell than here is a bunch of losers in this busted up spaceship, trying to hunt bounties. That's much more
Grounded.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if not for all the space stuff, it could just be any show that's on AMC or HBO right now, because that's what most of those shows are, just about people trying to scrap together their lives. So I think Bebop is made to, and once it hits, and I have more faith in this than I have a lot of things.
Because it's more relatable?
And just the characters are so much easier to swallow. Like
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z is a lot for people who aren't already fans of the ridiculous. And Speed
Right.
Racer even in itself is colorful and crazy. Ghost in the Shell is a much bigger pill to swallow because
Oh, gosh,
of the
yes.
intensity of the.
So would you say
How
Cowboy Bebop
convoluted
is the
it is.
kind of show where if you were to be introducing somebody into this kind of like genre,
Yes.
Oh,
this would
definitely.
be something
Yes.
that you
Yeah,
would get
definitely.
them first?
If you watch it, and you're like, oh man, this may not float my boat, but this is really good.
Bebop got
Yes.
millions
Yes.
of people in America into anime.
Yep.
Okay.
Like Adult Swim changed the way that we, here viewed it because it is an anime for adults without ever getting to be.
Too adultish?
Right.
With too
I mean, it hits
Right.
some, so it hits
Well,
some
there's
really
some
adult,
things,
episodes
but-
and themes, but it's not.
It's what's missing in animation, honestly, because like one of the things about Adult Swim is we either get the really we don't get a lot of clever stuff. It's always either like
Squidbillies?
yeah. It's
Yeah.
like it's cool if that exists, but I want more explorative stuff. Like even
Yeah.
the Venture Brothers, it's probably one of the more smarter things on there, and it's fun and awesome. But you're like, you don't have anything that really makes you think and is animated.
Right.
Yeah, Bebop has amazing.
It's emotional and real, and like there's like 5 characters in there.
There's like 5 main
at least
characters,
there's
yeah.
at least one that you relate to, that you see yourself in. Whether there's just they all have their different. They all have their different past, and they all have their
Right.
different stories, and they basically just come together as like a motley crew, like you said, like
Yeah,
a family, just a weird family, basically.
There's an adorable corgi.
Yeah, there's a corgi.
Yes.
Mine.
One of the 5.
Corgi is
one
my
of the
personal
5
favorite.
is a corgi, and they all love each other and hate each other at the same time. It is just one of the best casts assembled for a show ever, and so it's gold. It's like someone is like dropping gold in front of Netflix, and
Right.
it's all here.
Cowboy Bebop became the first anime title to be broadcast on Adult Swim in the United States in 2001.
Hey, yeah.
okay.
So yeah, Bebop and Adult Swim changed the
So
anime
18
game
years.
here in the States, and
Right.
it's only fitting that this might be the one. It's like if this works and Alita works, we can have nice things.
Right? Hopefully.
We can have anime nice things.
Yeah, because I have hope with Alita, with James Cameron pumping in his $5 gazillion into it. Rodriguez is a good director, and they somehow made a real live anime style person that doesn't look creepy somehow.
Yeah, like we've it's
She looks cute, and I'm like, huh.
With
That doesn't unnerve me.
with that Avatar money and the Rodriguez care for source material. If you've seen Sin City, you know that Rodriguez cares about what he's adapting. Sin City still might be the closest.
So you got like
comic.
a dynamic duo to make this.
Yeah, James Cameron's been trying to make Alita for like 15 years. Like
Wow.
it's been. I remember him talking about it ages ago. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna make an Alita movie. And from what I knew about Alita at the time, I was like, oh, because I'd seen the manga and the anime is robot girl fight stuff. Like the anime is not deep.
It's funny that like that's the one that done it for him, but we all have that one thing that we're really obsessed with. It's not really that big or intricate.
The manga
apparently that's James Cameron.
Yeah, the manga is much more in depth and really cool in cyberpunk, and the design is really cool. And so I'm glad that they moved it to February because we need it to succeed if it is good.